With more and more mysterious deaths around the world, fish in Brazil.
107 pilot whales have died after becoming...
Which had got a handful of bees in, a beautiful queen in the centre. It looked super. I thought, well, I can salvage those, but they were all dead.
Less than 10 feet away from the die-off.
Within 24 hours, all 3 of these hives are completely dead.
Scientists say there are some leads into why a large number of gharials are dying in the Chamba River. Post-mortem results show that they died of renal diseases like gout and kidney failure.
There's about 200,000 bats that typically spend the winter in this mine. And I'm afraid a very large percentage of them are going to die on us.
Across the northeastern United States this winter, researchers estimate that hundreds of thousands of bats died, and nobody knows why.
About 125 whales died on the beach.
Take a closer look though, and the shoreline was littered with dead fish.
Well, thousands of fish are dead at the mouth of a shipping channel, as well as a dead whale that was reported in Venice today. The species include crabs, stingrays, eel, drum, speckled trouts, and redfish. The video you're about to see is not a gravel road. Those are the dead fish.
This is amazing. All these seashells in millions are coming on the beaches of Pakistan, Karachi.
Piles of the small silvery fish cover much of the shoreline just east of Jones Park, from 15th Avenue to Moses Pier. While many lie baking in the late morning sun, others are pushed ashore by the gentle surf.
And tens of thousands of dead fish wash ashore along the Delaware Bay in South Jersey. This is a mess that you have to see to believe, and it has beachgoers worried. Many of the dead fish have washed up on Hy's Beach in Middle Township, New Jersey. Environmental officials don't know how or why the fish died.
Another small life lost on the vast Kazakh grasslands. Officials estimate that in the last 2 weeks as many as 12,000 Saiga antelope have died.
Massive fish and bird kills in Arkansas. Up to 5,000 blackbirds just fell from the sky in the town of Beebe. This happened just before midnight on New Year's Eve. And then tonight, We're learning that some 100,000 fish have washed up on the shores of the Arkansas River, which is about 125 miles from where the birds fell.
Fish farmers in southeast China are reeling after millions of fish suddenly died over several days last week. Chinese media estimates 8 to 9 million farm-bred grass carp died along a section of the Ming River in Fujian province. The fish started dying on August 27th, first in Huangtian Town in Gutian County, then downstream in Shuikou Town.
New tonight, a mysterious traffic tie-up just before the afternoon rush hour, and it was all because of birds. This is really weird. Hundreds of birds literally just dropped from the sky and then landed on I-95, bringing traffic there to a crawl.
Now, this happened on the northbound lanes in Laurel, and now the quest is underway to determine just what caused the mass kill-off.
You know, in Peru, environmentalists have a real mystery on their hands. Nearly 900 dolphins have turned up on a stretch of beach on the northern coast. Scientists have been testing the dolphins and trying to figure out exactly what happened. But these deaths are just the latest in a worldwide trend. In February, 179 dolphins washed ashore in Cape Cod. Then in early March, amateur video taken on a beach in Rio de Janeiro showed more than 30 dolphins on the shore there.
More than 800 dolphins, now more than 500 pelicans are washing up dead on the coast of Peru from Punta Negra to San Jose.
Hundreds of squid wash up on a Santa Cruz County beach. It is a mass stranding, but why it's happening remains a mystery. Good evening, everyone. I'm Carolyn Johnson.
And I'm Dan Ashley. They're called jumbo flying squid, but tonight they're dying in large numbers, and they washed up along Rio Del Mar State Beach near Aptos.
Researchers with the Hopkins Marine Station at Stanford are trying to figure out why these Humboldt squid ventured out of their native waters in the Sea of Cortez near the Baja Peninsula.
Look at them all. Everywhere you look. This isn't just here at my dock. This is happening all over the river. On both sides of the lower Neuse at the estuary. About 40 square miles. 40 square miles. Think about that.
A record number of Michigan deer are dead.
Yeah, you know, the agency says that they have reported more than 11,000 dead deer, but right now that may just be the tip of the iceberg. Take a look at this map now. Look at the numbers of reported dead deer in just these counties. If you hunt these areas, you will see less deer this year. The DNR says there is no way to know how many deer are dead statewide, because a lot of them have simply not been found. They say the actual number is much higher, but won't even hazard a guess at how much.
Millions of fish are washing up dead on the banks of creeks and rivers here in the east. Over the last few days, several of you have reached out to us after finding them. Erica Anderson has more on what's causing the problem.
On Thursday, the State Department of Environment and Natural Resources says this latest fish kill involves millions of menhaden fish. The department says the fish are washing up on the Tar Pamlico River basins in Beaufort County and along the Neuse River from
A discovery off the coast of Chile that has baffled authorities. Thousands of langoustines washed up in central Concepcion province. Beaches have been covered red as the Dublin Bay prawns were found.
Beachgoers down south who've had a gutful of dead fish washing up on our shores are taking matters into their own hands. They're collecting specimens for independent testing as the scale of the mystery continues to grow.
There are plenty more fish in the sea, but beachgoers fear far too many are washing up dead.
There was dead fish floating by in the water. Looked like they were pretty freshly dead as well.
Thousands of fish have littered the coast in recent weeks and locals are demanding answers.
I noticed the fish are starting to get bigger and bigger. We've started out with very small fish and now we're finding snapper and whiting and I've never seen that before in my life.
Fisheries experts are investigating what caused the death of thousands of fish on the Eyre Peninsula. The juvenile leather jackets have washed up along a 10-kilometre stretch of beaches south of Port Neal over the last week.
Absolutely incredible. I've never seen a fish kill like it in all my time travelling around the countryside.
Environmental officials in California say there's been another highly troubling report about what's going on in the Pacific. The scientists call it the sea star wasting syndrome. That's the technical name, but something is killing the starfish, and they don't know why. They've been dying in record numbers on the West Coast, including parts of Washington State, all along the coast down to California.
A grim sight on the picturesque beaches near Chile's northern city of La Serena. Around 600 dead birds and marine animals, among them some rare species, have been washed up along the coast in recent days. And police and biologists want to find out why.
All right, now to a mystery that has rocked the world of honeybees. Millions of bees simply dying or just disappearing, leaving no empty hives, no honey.
And it's a trend that experts say is getting worse and could mean shortages of honey and lots of other popular foods that we eat.
It's a mystery that's puzzled beekeepers everywhere, even spurring talk of a bee-apocalypse. A stunning 1 in 3 U.S. bee colonies disappeared last winter with no clear explanation of why.
Animals are mysteriously dying left and right in China, and no one knows why. This time it's 289 pigs and 89 dogs in Luoyang City in western Henan province. They reportedly all died suddenly on Monday for no known reason. The mysterious animal deaths follow close on the heels of the sudden appearance of 16,000 pig carcasses in the major Shanghai River. Over 1,000 birds and ducks turning up dead throughout China, and a quarter of a ton of dead fish washing up also in Shanghai.
Biologists are trying to unravel a mystery in northeastern New Mexico. More than 100 elk found dead on a ranch about 20 miles north of Las Vegas. The news comes as a shock to game and fish investigators and to hunters just days away from hunting season. News 13's Tina Jensen has the story.
Sky News 13 flying over a gruesome discovery on the sprawling 75,000-acre Buena Vista Ranch near Mora. A massive die-off of more than 100 elk within 1 square mile. The elk weren't shot, so Game and Fish is investigating just what caused the deaths, which seemed to happen overnight.
It wasn't an isolated case. The RSPCA says up to 100,000 flying foxes may have died at about 25 locations across southern Queensland, including the Lockyer Valley, Sunshine Coast and western Brisbane.
Marina under fire again after as many as 100,000 fish have been found dead in that lake.
What was once home to millions of fish has turned into a watery grave, now taking the lives of more than 100,000 fish.
Thousands of fish mysteriously turning up dead on the shoreline here after our recent deep freeze. As Channel 3 New London Bureau Chief Kevin Hogan explains, a perfect storm is to blame.
This massive kill wasn't caused by anything toxic or man-made, it was natural.
Good evening. More than 100 volunteers trekked for an hour to reach dozens of stranded whales today and worked all day trying to save them. The pod of 63 was stranded in hot, dry conditions at Farewell Spit. 21 more died and the rest, after initially being refloated, have just started to strand themselves again. Jane Luscombe reports.
As daybreak arrived at Farewell Spit, the sun's rays lit up a bleak scene. Dozens of pilot whales stranded and only a handful of people to help. There was no way they could save them. The task was simply too big.
As we left it last night, there were 14 pilot whales in the area around Lover's Key. And 4 of those whales died. 2 were humanely euthanized and 2 died of natural causes.
Scientists are trying to solve the mystery of the dead birds tonight.
Hundreds of them died in the same place, same time in Burleson this morning. Channel 8's Jim Douglas has been looking into it.
The scene prompted a lot of calls from motorists. Dead starlings and grackles scattered on and around the I-35 South Service Road at Alsbury Boulevard.
The ones we found in the grass did not have any signs of trauma that we could see.
Burleson Animal Control picked up just over 200 dead birds.
Tonight, more pilot whales are found dead off the coast of southwest Florida. Today, boaters found the remains of 25 pilot whales on an island near Marco Island. They appeared to have been there for about 24 hours and were part of a pod first seen Sunday. The whales were discovered 2 days after the deaths of 8 pilot whales near Lover's Key. That's about 40 miles north. What killed them still remains a mystery.
Now to a bizarre story. Hundreds of dead fish are surfacing in a popular fishing spot on the Kings River. Action News reporter Rick Montanez is in Kings County with what state fish and wildlife wardens think killed all those fish.
The hundreds of dead fish began showing up earlier this week, and fish and wildlife officials think it may be something missing from the water.
Along a strip of Peru's northern coast, the dolphins were lying dead. More than 200 carcasses washed up on the shore. They were to be added to a toll which now counts 400 dolphins found dead since the beginning of the year. No one knows why.
This is not the first time scientists find large groups of dolphins dead in Peru's coast. Last year, hundreds of them were found in the same area in northern Peru.
Officials were never able to determine the exact cause of death.
Instead of fresh air, joggers and cyclists using the Bishan Amokyo Park on Wednesday morning had to breathe in the stink of rotting fish, as hundreds of them were found belly up in the river and along the banks. Contractors cleaned up about 400 fish from the park.
You're watching Singapore Tonight. Welcome back. More than 20 fish farms along the East Johor Straits have reported incidents of fish dying just before the start of the Lunar New Year, and this has caused an estimated loss of more than $3 million. Some of the farms claim to have spotted about 200 to 300 dying fishes.